And I think that point has to do with the intermittent challenging of yourself, and whether that is through, temperature changes like cold or heat, or through other types of stressors like physical activity, or perhaps even dietary compounds that are found in plants. These are things like polyphenols or flavonols. Humans were, we evolved to intermittently challenge ourselves. And before we had Instacart, where you could basically just get your food delivered to you, before the Industrial Revolution, occurred, we were out hunting. And I say we, not us, but humans. We were out, gathering, we were moving, and we had to be physically fit. You couldn't, catch your prey if you were a sedentary slob, right? You were moving, and you had to pick your berries, you had to move. And so physical activity was a part of everyday life. And caloric restriction or intermittent fasting was also a part of it. This is another type of challenge. We didn't always, have a prey that we caught, or maybe temperatures were such that, there was nothing for us to gather, right? So food scarcity was something common, as well as eating plants. So getting these compounds that I mentioned. So these are all types of stress, intermittent challenges that activate genetic pathways in our bodies. These are often referred to in science as stress response pathways, because they respond to a little bit of stress. Physical activity is strenuous. Fasting is a little bit stressful. Heat, cold, these things are all types of little intermittent challenges. And there is a lot of crosstalk between these stressors and the genetic pathways that they activate. And these genetic pathways that are activated help you deal with stress. And they do it in a way that is not only beneficial to help you deal with that little stressor, exercise or heat, it stays active, and it helps you deal with the stress of normal metabolism, normal immune function happening, just life, aging, right? So this concept is referred to as hormesis, right? This is a little bit of stressful challenge that activates these stress response pathways in a beneficial way that is a net positive, that actually, it has a very profound antioxidant, anti-inflammatory response, or whatever the response is. It could be the production of more stem cells. These are cells that help regenerate different cells within tissues, or something like autophagy, which is a process that can clear away all the gunk inside of our cells, pieces of DNA, protein aggregates. So you'll find that these stress response pathways are activated by a variety of stressors. So for example, one pathway is called heat shock proteins. And as their name would apply, one would go, oh, they're activated by